Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on opportunities for renters in the Inflation Reduction Act. This webinar is presented by Linn Clean Energy District and Empowered Solutions Collective. So today we will do some brief introductions, an overview of the opportunities for renters in the Inflation Reduction Act, and then a wrap up with some action items for you all. So I'm Tamara Marcus. My pronouns are they, she, and I am the co-owner of Empowered Solutions Collective, which is a small business based in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, that's dedicated to helping nonprofits, local governments, and other small businesses do sustainability work. This webinar is also being presented by Linn Clean Energy District, which is a nonprofit that's committed to accelerating a just and equitable transition to clean energy and is led by John Zakrasik. So what is the Inflation Reduction Act? It is historical federal legislation that is aimed at helping to fight inflation. And it's doing this through lowering energy costs, increasing cleaner energy production, and reducing carbon emissions by roughly 40% by 2030. It also encompasses other spheres such as healthcare, but our focus today will really be on energy efficiency incentives and benefits specifically for renters. And we do advise you to discuss with a tax professional any of these actions that we are talking about here today before you move forward, just to ensure that you will get the benefit that you are expecting. So there are two tax credits that you may be eligible for as renters that we'll talk about today. One is the Energy Efficiency Home Improvement Tax Credit, as well as the Residential Clean Energy Credit. So what's the difference between energy efficiency and renewable energy? Energy efficiency is really looking at how we use less energy and achieve the same results through optimization of processes or improved technologies, as well as change behaviors. Some of these examples can be things like using more energy efficient appliances. If you're familiar with Star Energy appliances, for example, those tend to help improve energy efficiency. Installing improved insulation that has maybe a higher R value, so it helps to, again, trap in heat, for example, during some of those colder months. And then also transitioning to LED lighting, as well as thinking about how we improve our transportation systems. Renewable energy, however, is really focused on using energy that's derived from naturally replenished sources that have minimal environmental impact. So things like solar panels, wind turbines, and geothermal. Both are really vital and essential to sustainability work and combating climate change, as well as helping you all save money. So what benefits can you receive from energy efficiency upgrades as renters? A big one, obviously, is cost savings. So the higher and more energy efficient your unit, typically the lower your utility bills will be. And so this can lead to significant long-term savings. Other benefits can also include environmental impacts. So things like reducing greenhouse gas emissions or reducing and improving air pollution. It can also result in increased comfort. So things like addressing drafts within your living space, for example. There's also improved health and safety benefits, creating healthier indoor living environments for you and your family. And it also, energy efficiency upgrades have the potential to spur job creation through stimulating employment in the manufacturing, installation, and maintenance fields. Additionally, it helps to ensure energy security by reducing our dependence on imported fuels and also enhances both our community and household resiliency. So now to the tax credits. So one of the tax credits that you as a renter could be eligible for is the Energy Efficiency Home Improvement Tax Credit. So this is a 30% tax credit on energy efficiency home improvements. So things like insulation, air sealing, installation of energy efficient doors and windows. The maximum tax credit you can receive in each year is $1,200 for each property, including central air conditioners, water heaters, furnaces, boilers, and heat pumps, as well as, again, doors up to 2 doors or a total of $500, and windows as well for up to a total of $600. This tax credit will also cover energy home audits up to $150. So energy home audits are very good at helping you and your home really figure out what energy efficiency upgrade is going to have the biggest impact on your home and is going to save you the most money. So it's definitely something that if you have thought about before is certainly very helpful. And again, identifying what action is going to have the highest cost savings for your home. There's also an additional $2,000 per year for qualified heat pumps, biomass stoves, as well as biomass boilers. You can claim the maximum annual credit every year that you make eligible improvements until the year 2033. However, the credit is non-refundable, so you can't get back more on the credit than you owe in taxes, and you are not allowed to apply any excess credit to future tax years. Another energy efficiency tax credit that you may be available for as a renter is the residential clean energy credit. So this is 30% of the cost of new qualified clean energy property for your home installed anytime from 2022 through 2032. So again, this credit is non-refundable, so the credit amount you receive cannot exceed the amount you owe in tax. You can, however, carry forward any excess unused credit and apply it to reduce your tax liability in future years. Let's see, you can also claim this credit every year that you install eligible property until the credit is phased out in 2020 or 2033. And you can claim this residential clean energy credit whether you own or rent your home. So if you're a renter, for example, that's anticipating staying in your rental property for a long period of time, this might be something that is a good thing to explore for you and potentially engaging your landlord in that process. You cannot claim the credit if you're a landlord, right? So this is again why if you're the renter, it's very, this particular credit might make sense for you if you're anticipating staying in that property longer term, because you as the renter can get that tax benefit on your tax liability. If you are a landlord or property developer watching this webinar, definitely check out the March 14th webinar that's specifically targeted and focused for property developers and landlords. This is a super nifty, helpful table that tells you what percentage of tax credit that's available for each equipment type. These slides will be available on the Linn Clean Energy District website, so definitely, as well as the recording. So definitely use these slides as future reference for helping you identify what equipment type makes sense for you to explore for your energy efficiency upgrades. So the challenge that you may experience with tax credits. So tax credits only matter if you have enough tax liability to benefit from that offset, right? So there could be, and likely are, many renters who don't fall into that category. They don't have tax liability. So the Inflation Reduction Act rebates are probably going to be more helpful to this particular group of people because they lower the cost, the upfront cost of buying an appliance or a home upgrade. There are 2 energy efficiency rebates in the IRA. So one of those is the home efficiency rebates. You might also hear this referred to as the home energy performance-based whole house rebates, or homes. And then the second rebate is the home electrification and appliance rebates, or HERA. So homes and HERA, and these can be fairly confusing. As you can see here, they sound very similar. There's kind of two types of terminology that are used almost interchangeably for a lot of these rebates. So it's definitely worth looking through these slides as a reference to ensure that you are pursuing the rebate that's most appropriate for you in your situation. A note about these rebates, they are slightly different from a traditional rebate program. So it's not like a rebate that you may be more used to where you purchase the item at full price, send in some kind of information, and then receive a refund for a product that you might have purchased, for example. These rebates are essentially meant to be point of sale rebates. And so you're receiving that rebate or that cost benefit as you're purchasing that item or as you're working with your contractor for upgrades. These rebate programs will be administered by the state. And so especially for the home efficiency rebates program, You will need to work with a program approved contractor to be eligible for the home efficiency rebates or that HOMES program. And I'll talk more a bit about that program in the next couple of slides. So the home energy efficiency rebate, again, it's administered by the state. There's about $60 million that the state of Iowa has received for this program. The amount of money that's available for these rebates is dependent on a variety of factors that you can see here. For example, which technology that you're installing in your home, whether the project has estimated energy savings and what that estimated energy savings looks like, the percentage, the household's income, as well as the total project cost. And I'll share a few more details about that here in the next slide. And this particular rebate, so the home energy efficiency rebate or the HOMES rebate, is different than the HERA or home electrification and appliance rebate program because residents of all income levels are eligible for this program. But it only applies to retrofits for existing homes and buildings. So this nifty little table on the screen now shows you let's see, what does it show you? So it shows you basically the costs that you are eligible for based off of, again, some of those factors that I talked about in the last slide. So you can see here, these top two energy programs refer to the HOMES program. And so the home efficiency project, so if you have a home efficiency project that has 20% predicted energy savings, there is a certain amount available to you, up to 80% of the project cost, up to $4,000 if you are below 80% AMI, area median income. It is half of that if you, let's see, it's half of that if you are above that 80% AMI. So 2,000 up to 2,000, 50% of the project costs. If you are slated to achieve 35% predicted energy savings with the upgrades that you make on your homes, and you are below 80% AMI, area median income, you can receive up to $8,000 or 80% of the project costs. And if you are above 80% AMI, you can receive 50% of the project costs up to $4,000. For the home electrification project, so again, I'll talk more about that in the next slides, but the HERA program, this is specifically targeted for low to moderate income households. So only households that are 150% AMI, incomes of 150% AMI or less, are eligible for these programs. So if you are an 80% AMI household, below 80% or below household, then 100% of those project costs up to $14,000 are covered. If you are between 80 and 150% AMI, 50% of those project costs are covered up to $14,000. And if you're above 150% AMI, you will not qualify for this particular program, for the HERA program, for the home electrification program, but you will still qualify for the HOMES program. So these top two lines will apply to you. So the home electrification appliance program, right, is again for low to moderate income households. And so an important note too, if you are somehow a landlord or developer watching this webinar, individuals or entities that own a multifamily building with low to moderate income households comprising at least 50% of the residents will also apply or are also eligible through the HERA program. So again, if you make 150% of the area median income, you are not eligible for this program. If you are 80% AMI, area median income household, or below, then 100% of your electrification project costs will be covered. If you are between 80% and 150% AMI, then 50% of your project costs up to $14,000 will be covered. So why is this program great? So it provides, again, upfront discounts for things like heat pump water heaters or HVAC systems, electric stoves, and induction cooktops. So there's a link in the slides here that have that is a renter-friendly HVAC model. Starts at $2,000, and the great thing about this particular model is that it's portable. So this program is really good for folks who are maybe living in a rental property that they're not anticipating staying there for very long. And so when you move out, you're able to just take that heat pump with you. So definitely check out some of this program if that is the type of renter that you currently are or plan to be in the near future. Again, this program will provide point of sale discounts. That's the idea. And this is another program that will be administered by the state. Again, there's about 60 million for this particular rebate program as well. So 60 million for the homes, 60 million for HERA. And an important note, funds will not be offered retroactively. So you need to wait until until the state develops and announces their program, which should be mid to late of this year. Here you can see the appliances, the electric appliances that are applicable and eligible under this program, and the maximum amounts that qualify for those particular appliances through the HERA program. Okay, also some information that may be relevant to you as renters. There are electric car rebates available, so $4,000 for buying a used electric car, which is kind of an exciting addition to the Inflation Reduction Act, that it's including used cars, because it definitely expands the ability of folks to take advantage of rebates for electric cars. Excuse me. And then also $7,500 for buying qualifying new electric cars as well. So what can you do to prepare for a rebate? And again, a home energy assessment, a home audit, energy audit is super great for a kind of first step for folks. There is a 30% tax credit that's available for that process. Again, this is a great way to assess kind of your existing space, living space, and figure out and prioritize the energy upgrades, energy efficiency upgrades that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. And get you the highest amount of cost savings through the available programs. Some other important notes, if you receive an IRA rebate, you are not required to report the value of that rebate as income. And the efficiency rebates cannot be combined with the electrification rebate for the same single upgrade, but both programs can be used concurrently for different upgrades within the same project. Meaning you can't use the efficiency rebate and the electrification rebate for a heat pump. You can't double dip with that, but you could use both of those programs for two separate upgrades, like a heat pump and windows, for example. So you can stack these credits in a strategic way. You just can't double dip on the same upgrade. So some notes, there's definitely more potential for cost savings by working with your landlord, by working with the owner of the unit that you're in. Some advice and strategies for how to have those conversations. Show them show them the math on the specific upgrades, and demonstrate how it can save them money and also be attractive to future tenants. If you're in the market for apartments, ask prospective landlords if they're interested in cutting emissions. And if they are or are not, let them know that that's something that you're interested in doing as a tenant. Having those conversations with property owners can go a long way to moving the needle on normalizing, standardizing energy efficiency within the rental market. And definitely, if you're a person who is looking at buying an EV in the next couple of years, let your landlord know that there are tax credits available for installing EV chargers. So some other simple energy efficiency tips for renters specifically. If you haven't done it already, definitely make the switch to LEDs. You can save about $200 a year by using LED lighting, so that's super cool. If you haven't done it already or installed one already, use a use a smart thermostat. So you can save about 10% on heating by adjusting your temperature back 7 to 10 degrees for 8 hours a day. Same is true for adjusting your water heater temperature. So these are fairly simple steps that you can take outside of the IRA to help you save money as a renter now. Seal doors around windows and seal doors and windows with weather stripping is also a good tip for saving some money and improving energy efficiency. And if you have not done so already, sign up for an energy saver kit. Those are available through the Linn County Sustainability Department and their Green Iowa program. And there is this also nifty tool that will be available again in the slides from Rewiring America that can help you calculate your potential savings for some of these programs that we talked about here today. So next steps, programs and funds will be available around mid to late 2024, mid to late of this year. So if you are interested in participating in these programs, I would recommend signing up to be notified when those programs are live. There is a form from the Iowa Economic Development Authority and their website for you to sign up for notifications of these programs. So in conclusion, don't forget to sign up for updates on IEDA's website, on Iowa Economic Development Authority's website. The slides and the recording will be available at linncleanenergydistrict.com or .org, I apologize. So definitely use this as future reference as you are navigating which direction you want to pursue for these energy efficiency upgrades available through the Inflation Reduction Act. And if you have any questions about material in this slide deck or other questions related to energy efficiency, feel free to reach out to me at Tamara at empoweredsolutionscollective.com. One request that we would like to make from you is to help us prioritize energy efficiency within affordable housing developments within the state of Iowa. So you may not know, maybe you do know, that the Iowa Finance Authority develops the Qualified Allocation Plan, which essentially tells developers what they need to do to be able to access the low-income housing tax credits. And so we're hoping to increase energy efficiency scoring within that Qualified Allocation Plan or QAP plan. We do have a letter of revisions that we have put together as the Clean Energy Districts of Iowa. You can see some of those recommendations there on the screen. So for example, provide scoring incentives for green building certifications to improve affordability, mandate electrification ready designs for new constructions, create incentives for on-site and community solar and renewables, for example. So these are ways that we aim to make affordable housing not only affordable to be built, but affordable for the tenants and the renters that are then living there, right? So affordable long-term. There are some other examples from other states in the Midwest that we have included in this letter. If you're interested in reading that letter, that full letter is available on Linn Clean Energy District's website. Our ask to you is to use this fancy QR code on this slide. Go and sign the online petition and help us, again, make energy efficiency something that is standardized within our affordable housing projects that the state of Iowa is funding. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in to this webinar. I hope you learned something, and I hope it will help you save money and improve the energy efficiency of your home.